meant to replace full learning in classes.
It will provide us a bridge during these difficult times to bring us back then when there is a sense of normal.
Figuring out how to keep students connected in the learning process is something many teachers are still trying to figure out.
41 Action News anchor Gabriella Pagan talked with the head of the Teachers Union for Shawnee Mission as they revive their lesson plans.
The unknown is now known.
After the uncertainty of whether in-person classes would resume after spring break, Shawnee Mission Spanish teacher and president of the local teachers union, Linda Seek, says she's grateful to at least have a direction each district can plan for, but that does not change the feeling of all this.
You know, I can't even process that feeling right now. It just seems surreal, very abrupt, but I do think it is in the best interest of those kids to right now be home and be safe.
Now that they will be, what will education look like on a day-to-day basis?
It may look different for different grades and for kids with different levels of internet access at home, but we've got to make sure that we do something for every single child.
While an educational task force comes together to paint a better picture of what the rest of the academic year will physically entail, the situation begs the question, will there be a learning gap as all of this is sorted out and proper resources are allocated to those who need them to take instruction fully online?
We talk about a personalized learning plan. In this environment, it has to be personalized.
I don't know what model we're going to use, but I can tell you it's not that we're done teaching and or learning for the rest of the year. I know that for a fact.
While education is the top priority, it's the relationships built between student and teacher that some will miss the most.
I think what's most sad is that we left for spring break, and I wished everyone a happy spring break and wanted them to have fun and be safe, and I will never collectively see those groups of students again.
This will be an emotional challenge for our kids because this is a big change. They're used to coming to school every day, and they won't be. So we've got to figure out how do we support them in that as they adapt to the new normal.
In KCK, Gabriella Pagan, 41 Action News.
And if your child is a senior, leaders say they're working to make sure those students graduate on time. School boards are reviewing the state's requirements for graduation, this in comparison to the district's requirements. And following the governor's announcement, we heard from many viewers just like you asking what would happen to child daycare centers and after-school programs. Will any more be open to taking any more students?
41 Action News reporter Ariel Rothfield found one after-school program working to help in any way they can.
Students at New Stanley Elementary School are currently on spring break, but now they won't step back into their classrooms for months to come.
It's one of the few that's an all-year school, and we love that about it because they lose less information over the break period. So right now, I highly anticipate that they're going to have a lag.
But Emily Lopez is also worried about her kids' classmates and their families as Kansas schools close their classrooms for the remainder of the academic year.
Having to still provide for your family but not have a source of income, or not now have to have an added bill essentially of having to pay child care, it's not going to be possible.
Marjorie Thomas is concerned too.
I really can't imagine, kids with this kind of freedom, parents having to go to work regardless, no supervision. It's not going to work real well.
She spends her afternoons in this usually bustling room, helping kindergartners to fifth graders with math and reading as a volunteer with KC Urban Seed, an after-school program benefiting students in KCK.
We figure if we get them young, start them at the bottom, then we can make a difference.
So in light of the governor's announcement,
it cannot be controlled statewide if school buildings return to normal operations.
She and others are trying to make a difference to help as many students and families as they can.
Somebody threw a monkey wrench in. So we're not sure how this is going to work, but we are going to figure out a way.
As the coronavirus continues to cause chaos, now shutting down schools. Reporting in Kansas City, Kansas.
It's going to be a huge change for us.
It might be a little different. Yeah, it just might be a little different.
Ariel Rothfield, 41 Action News.
If your child relies on school lunches, Kansas leaders received a waiver from the U.S. Department of Agriculture to provide breakfast and lunch to any child between the ages of 1 and 18. Some school districts already delivered meals yesterday and ended up serving anywhere from 500 to 800 meals in one day. There will be a more concrete delivery plan once school districts start receiving tomorrow's guidelines. Right now in Kansas, there are 19 cases of coronavirus, 11 in Johnson County alone. The one positive test in Ford County was not a Kansas resident.
On the Missouri side, the majority of schools are closed until April 6th. As for now, there are no plans to close for the entire semester. The Kansas City Public School District plans to launch an online program this week where students can access their work. The district will also set up food distribution sites where students can get enough breakfast and lunch items to last them until they head back to school.
There are now 16 cases of coronavirus in Missouri. We already told you about the second one that was confirmed in Jackson County tonight. Out of the Missouri cases, one is an employee at Cerner. Cerner's Realizations campus closed today for some deep cleaning. We've also learned that 6 Kansas City, Missouri City Council members are in self-quarantine. They've not shown any symptoms, but they may have been exposed to coronavirus during a conference in Washington, D.C.
Missouri Governor Mike Parson pushing for more testing across the state, and that includes drive-through testing. He says several companies and organizations are preparing to test more than 1,000 samples a day, and that includes a Lee Summit lab.
I don't believe the coronavirus is going to be over in a week or two. I believe we have to consider that this is going to be here for months. And I believe we have to be prepared for that every day.
In the next 24 hours, we could learn if General Motors, Ford, and Fiat Chrysler will implement rotating partial shutdowns of their facilities. This could include the GM plant in Fairfax and the Ford plant in Clay Como. The National UAW said that all 3 companies are trying to adhere to the CDC guidelines. They expect a more firm plan by tomorrow night. You can get live updates as they happen at our website, kshb.com. Well, we got a chance of thunderstorms overnight.
And a chance of just about everything else in the week ahead.
That's right. There's even a chance of snow before the weekend is over. It's crazy. The ups and downs continue. Good evening, everyone. Right now it is overcast. We have a cloudy sky, and there's rain heading this way. Do you know what's amazing? It's 45 degrees in Kansas City now. Tomorrow night at this time, it'll be near 60. All right, so 15 degrees warmer tomorrow night. So that's what's going on. We have warmer air surging this way and a band of rain and thunderstorms. This is the first wave of energy that is coming towards us. Here's Kansas City, but between Iola and Pleasanton, the rain is just now beginning. So rain's going to move in later tonight, another round Thursday. We'll go over all these ups and downs coming up.
Well, this is not the normal scene for St. Patrick's Day. Look at the top party spot in the metro when everyone's told to stay at home.
From St. Patrick's Day to Patrick Mahomes, making sure no kid goes hungry. How his organization is passing meals to those in need.
You're watching 41 Action News.
Folks, this story just in. Joe Biden has just won the presidential primary in Arizona. 67 pledged delegates there. It's unclear how many Joe Biden will walk off with. That depends on how much he won in all the counties in Arizona, but 67 pledged delegates in that state. Joe Biden also took home big wins in Illinois and Florida tonight. He's currently in the lead with more than 1,000 delegates. Voters in Ohio were supposed to head to the polls, but it was ordered closed, all because of the coronavirus. In Jackson County, Missouri, the election board is requesting the Western Appellate District Court to push back the upcoming April election due to COVID-19. Under the proposal, the election would be moved from April 7th to June 2nd, and the petition was co-signed with 45 other counties.
Tonight is usually one of the busiest nights for local bars as people celebrate St. Patrick's Day. But this is what it looks like in Westport right now. You can see the streets, even the businesses are empty following new rules from Kansas City leaders. In less than 2 hours, casinos in Kansas and Missouri will shut down. Again, it's all to help slow the spread of the coronavirus. They will stay closed until at least March 30th.
The Kansas City Royals join in an effort by the Major League Baseball Club to assist seasonal workers impacted by the delay of the regular season. The Royals donating $1 million to help compensate those workers. And Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes making sure no one in the metro goes hungry during this difficult time. Through his foundation, 15 and Mahomes, he'll be committing $100,000 to KCPS lunch programs and other local organizations. Folks, we're starting a new effort to recognize those in our community that are helping others get through this difficult time. And there are many people showing their big hearts. Just use the hashtag #WeSeeYouKSHB, and you could see that story featured right here on 41 Action News.
Now, here's Kansas City's most accurate forecast from Chief Meteorologist Gary Lezak.
Good evening. It seems like a long week already. It's only Tuesday night. The week began with some snow on Sunday. Remember a couple mornings ago and the snow showers? Now we have some possible thunderstorms tomorrow. Some rain on Thursday with a chance of thunderstorms. A big warm up into the 70s, a hard freeze. Yeah, that's right. Watch out for those plants. 20